Please consider supporting us by clicking on the like and subscribe buttons. Your support will be greatly appreciated.
That there is one president in Africa, there is one cabinet in Africa, there is one currency in Africa, there is one military in Africa, and there is one reserve bank for the continent. We need an African command team, highly capacitated and highly sophisticated. We need inspired African solution when it comes to peace and economic development of our continent. We need the land of Africa, both under Francophones and Anglophones, owned by the people of Africa and stopping to see each other through the eyes of our colonizers.
Gaddafi both couldn't get their wish true in terms of building this one Africa. It's impossible.
It is not.
So, according to the lady, the voice of the lady, I'll start where she said, is it impossible? I don't think it's impossible. I think it can happen, but we have to start somewhere. So I have here somewhere you could start. You could start with the formula that East Africa have. East Africa have a formula, even though it's not together. It's not been implemented, but it's a formula. You got Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, which have traveled before. It's the one visa. So you only need to get visa once in whichever country you go to. So if you get a visa to enter Uganda, you can go to Kenya and you can go to Tanzania with the same visa. So that's a start. So if your country is left out, forgive me, but this is Malema, he said something about one president. This would be a start. I know it's quite a lot of countries, 52 or 54. There's a lot of countries to get together. So I'm going to start with about 12 or 13. So as I mentioned before, I remember I mentioned Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. Now in West Africa, that's in the east. In West Africa, I see there's an uprising and things happening now. So those could come together, which is Mali, Guinea, Niger, and maybe Burkina Faso. Those could come together and make one country. That would be two. There and right. So you have East, West. Then North, you have Tunisia, Algeria, Egypt, and Libya. Choose whichever from those and come together. Then you would have North Africa. Then in the South, you have Malawi, Zambia, and Namibia. Those are the three I choose, but you could suggest any three or any four to come together. So that would be a start. Then those would be 4 countries now instead of 12 or 13. And that's a start. That's how you start. And then continue with that formula. But as I said before, I believe that the East African formula is the most advanced. And I said this before. The East African formula is the most advanced. Now West Africa is starting to catch up. I think we should know West Africa should use the East African formula and make it better. Well, add to it. And then implement a one state, one government system across those 3 or 4 countries. And then it would spread like wildfire, I think. So that's just my part of the suggestion of a dream of Kwame Nkrumah and others who wanted Africa to be one country, one state, one continent. A sister like Sister Chiombo Kwa, who also have the same intentions. I believe these are suggestions we should sit down as a people and try to bring these things together step by step. And this is a formula we could start with. And until Africa as a continent come together, us as diaspora and black people that is across the seas and taken away, I think the full liberation will start when Africa first liberate. Then us as melanated people in the diaspora and all over, scattered all over the earth, will see an example and then start to value ourselves. Because there's things I want to talk about. Oh, we as a people don't really love ourselves. You know, we have things we do to each other that we would not do to another person. And we're so quick to react and behave in a violent way towards our brothers and sisters, which we would not do to others. So there's things I want to talk about in the next video, which is gonna be about why we do not love ourselves and what you'd call the attitude, the schizophrenic attitude that we have towards each other. There's a thing they call PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I believe that I'm gonna do some research in that. I think we have something called a post-traumatic slave disorder. So I'm gonna look into that, do some research on it, and then on the next video we should have a conversation on that.
See, they know the truth and
Please consider supporting us by clicking on the like and subscribe buttons. Your support will be greatly appreciated.